What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the RSX build, all-wheel drive conversion. Today what we're bringing for you guys is we are doing a fuel cell. So customer, obviously, you know, we're going all-wheel drive, so the differential and the drive shaft and everything is going to be in the way of the factory fuel tank. So he ended up buying a, you got a 12-gallon or 15-gallon? You're on camera today, bro. You're on camera today. 15?
Yeah.
All right, so we got a 15-gallon fuel cell over here. We'll show you guys that in a few minutes. We'll do an unboxing and everything of it. But what we're going to be doing is planning on putting it here in the trunk for now, just to get the car, you know, operational and so you can get it dialed in and tuned and stuff. So we are putting a fuel cell here. Don't know the brand of it yet. We're going to do the custom water neck, or the fill neck. We're gonna do the fuel lines, install the fuel filter and the fuel pump and everything at the bottom of the car. We'll show you guys his setup that in a few minutes. But yeah, so we're just gonna put the fuel tank here. This is just for now, like I said, just to get the car up and running. Maybe in the future we would build a custom tank down at the bottom of the car. That way, you know, he still keeps, he is keeping full interior and everything in the car, so it is gonna be a daily driven car. So eventually, you know, it'd be nice to have the trunk space. So we will build one at the bottom of the car, nice and custom, so it's tucked up and possibly hold more than 15 gallons. But let's unbox this and let's see what we got. And then we got the fuel cell itself. Way more sexy. So we got in here: fuel return, rollover vent. Then we have our fill cap. Pressure tested. Beautiful. Let's get it out. Hey guys, so we got the tank out the box. We have it inside the car now. So that's where our fuel feed is going to be coming from. So that's pretty nice. You guys can see it has a little bit of hump down. Nice kit. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out where we're gonna want to sit it, whether we're gonna sit it here or we're gonna sit it inside the wheel well. So we're gonna go ahead and take out the rugs and everything and see what we do. Okay guys, so these tanks, they come with this fuel foam inside. What this foam is meant for is, since it's a tank, you don't want splashing of the fuel inside and you never want to run dry. This is basically a sponge, so what it's supposed to do is suck up the fuel and always have fuel down at your ports. But the customer wants to take it out. He's scared that the fuel pump might get some of the foam inside of it, even though we're putting a fuel filter in line. But once we show you guys the fuel pump, you'll see why he has a worry of it. It's not a cheap pump. So we're gonna head and remove this stuff. So you just stick your hand inside and you can pull it out. There's this piece. This one sits on the tank like that, and there's the one all the way at the bottom that basically covers around the whole thing. So we're gonna head and remove that as well. Hey guys, so we have all the foam and everything pulled out. When we were pulling out the foam, we noticed that there's a bunch of aluminum shavings that are coming out, and my guess is from when they drill these holes. So it won't be a bad idea to, you know, hook up a vacuum cleaner, stick it inside, and get as much shit as you can out. So we're gonna go ahead and clean that out. Alright guys, so we got the tank inside, and she actually fits really good right here. She's like nice and snug. The only thing that's in our way is this metal bracket right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. But this metal bracket, all it's really for is just to support the foam that's on there. So we're gonna head and delete that piece so we can bring the tank as far back as possible, and then we'll create brackets and everything, because on that side it is gonna sag. Right now she's sitting up really good because I have the foam piece holding it up right now. But also the goal is for the tank is you want it to sit a little bit that way, because you do have your fuel feed lines and everything on that side. And inside the tank, I'm not sure how well you guys can see it, but it has like a little baffle that makes sure that the fuel flows over there. I wish those fittings were a little bit lower. I'm not sure if you guys can see the tiny little gap at the bottom, so you won't always 100% empty out the tank, but that's no problem. So yeah, we're gonna head and remove that right now, and then we'll get back. Okay, so we're here at Lowe's. We are in the plexiglass section. So I didn't tell you guys why we were here yet, but hopefully you guys can get a guess. In another few seconds, you guys will know why. But we are here looking for some thick plexiglass, and we're doing this for a reason. So this is the one that we're gonna probably go with. nice thick. We're gonna get our guy to cut it for us, and then we'll show you guys in a few seconds why. Guys, so we're back from the Lowe's run. We got our acrylic pieces. We got a nice 7x7 inch square, and we need that for a reason. And the reason is we're gonna be getting rid of this because he's not filling his fuel through here. We're gonna get the stock location so that way he can still use the stock fuel neck, still use the stock cover, cup, everything. And we're gonna weld a tube to go here and then go over there and fuel through there. So we're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna put a piece of plexiglass in here so you can see the level of his fuel since his floater won't work anymore. We're gonna put a piece of plexiglass in here, and we might try to figure out, see if we can put a light or something inside so he can see his fuel in the night. But we're gonna go ahead and remove that. We got the piece of aluminums. You guys seen us cut these pieces. And what these are for is we're gonna stack 3 of these together. We're gonna weld them together. We're gonna drill a hole through the middle. We're gonna drill and tap. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna be welded onto the sides of the tank, which is gonna be over here. And what that's gonna allow us to do is put an L bracket onto the floor so we can actually bolt the tank on there and the tank won't be able to move. So we're gonna head and weld one over there, one on that side, anchor it to the floor. And then Brandon's gonna start working on removing that. We're gonna change that into plexiglass. And then we're gonna probably wait for the fill neck last. So other than that, let's put you guys on time lapse. Let's remove this piece and I'll start welding those gussets. Yep. That'll do.
Oh, don't tell me you gotta.
So we got Brandon over here. He just finished cutting it and drilling the holes. I'm taping.
Okay, my cuz.
So she looks like crystal, baby, crystal. Let's see what she looks like on the tank. That shit's nice. Now you'll be able to see what's inside the tank and how much fuel you have. A little hard to see now with the reflection of the lighting in the shop and everything, but that's crystal. Hell yeah. All right, so now we got that done. That's ready to go. We'll put that to the side. We're gonna head and weld our gussets and everything on there so we can put our brackets. Guys, now that we got the acrylic and everything ready to go, we got our gussets. So these are 1/8" plates. I stacked 3 of them together so we have some meat so we can tap and drill and tap. So now these are gonna get welded here. That's how it is. We have another one over here. Now we're only gonna do these 2 sides for now. We might do another one in the back. That's a maybe. We might actually use the factory bracket and just modify it up a little bit. But we're gonna go ahead and get these welded on right now. I was scared as shit welding onto.
Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark? It's undefined, want to know where you are. Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark?
Alright, you guys, so we got these little spacer plates or standoffs that we got. So we have the tank in position now. Tank is in, we have our level in. Let's get inside the car. There you guys, so as you guys can see, we got the blocks welded onto the side of the tank. That way it gives us some meat to bite onto. Here's our spacer plate. So what this is gonna do is gonna bolt onto that plate that we welded on there, and it's gonna stand up the fuel tank. So let me get this installed real quick. Alright, you guys, so we got one installed. Now we got to get the measurements for the other one, but we got to make sure our tank is level. So if you guys can see here, our bubble is all the way in the back. The reason is, like we said, you do want your tank to fill this way, so that way your fuel wants to go to your lines. So it's perfect. It's not too far off from center. So we got the perfect angle for it. So we're going to head and make that bracket and get that installed as well. Alright, you guys, so both brackets are in. Tank is level. So now what we gotta do is just mark the sound deadening material, mark around it, grind that out, and then we're gonna weld those plates onto the actual frame of the car. That way we can unbolt and bolt the fuel tank anytime we need to work on it. Guys, we got the tank in. We're breaking out the good old Everlast Cyclone 212. Got Brandon hopping in there. Got the spots cleaned out. You good? Go ahead and get those bad boys welded in. There you guys. So we got that all welded in. So now the tank is pretty much solid, but she still has a little bit of bounce, and we don't want to risk breaking the sheet metal where we welded. So we kind of did a little oopsie at the beginning of the video. If you guys remember, we took this piece off of here. We're actually going to put this back on. We're going to put that back on, and we're going to put a little bracket coming from the tank so we can bolt onto there. So we're going to go ahead and weld this piece back on, create a bracket, and continue on.
Ready?
Alright, you guys, so obviously we have the fuel cell in. You guys can see we got that bracket welded on there, so now she's bolted down. Well, that's bolted down. That one I still gotta put the nut in, but you can see And then over here, so the fuel cell will be in place, nice and solid. So the next step is, as you guys can see, we got that bad boy cut out. So now this fill tube is the factory one, and we want to keep the factory fill. That way we don't have to come over here, open the trunk, and fill it up through here. We're gonna be able to fill it up through the factory neck. So luckily for us, the factory neck is made out of steel. It's metal. You can hook up a magnet to it. I thought it was plastic, but it's not. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop it off like around there. Make sure we measure 1.5. We're gonna get some 1.5-inch 90 elbows. We're gonna come this way with the elbow. We're gonna come over here, and then we're gonna fill the top of the tank. That way we can get the most fuel possible. So we're gonna head and get that. All right, you guys, so we got the stock fill neck out. It's all trimmed up. This is the length that I needed to. So we have our pipe and everything match up. Gave myself a little bit of a lip so I can, you know, put some nice beads on there real nice. Make sure we don't have any leaks. So we're gonna head and get this welded up. Hey guys, so we're messing around with a few little pipes. So we got the factory fuel pipe out. It's cut. We put a section of stainless on there with a little bit of an angle. Then the 90 is gonna come over here like that. And then the goal is for it to come over here and then gradually, slowly slope down. Now to go into the tank, that's all stainless steel and the factory pipe is steel. So we have to merge it to aluminum, which you can't weld them together. So we're gonna use a nice little coupler. So I made this piece. So you guys saw me doing the bead on there. So this piece is gonna set a little bit of an angle like that, the very top of the tank, so we can fill it up to maximum. This rollover vent is sort of in the way, but it'll work. So we're gonna put that bad boy like that, a little bit of an angle so it faces towards over there. So yeah, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the tank, clean this paint up, weld this bad boy on, and then we'll continue on making the pipes.
Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark? It's undefined, want to know where you are. Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark? The sun is dark.
Alright you guys, so as you guys can see, we have the fuel neck, or your fill neck, whatever you guys want to call it. We have that all fabricated up. It's just tacked in place right now. Still got to do it welded up, but fuel cell's in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start figuring out where we're going to put our hoses for our fuel feed, fuel return, and then our tank vent. We ordered a Evil Energy 8AN fuel kit. So we ordered a 20-foot section. This kit's actually very nice. It comes with a whole bunch of 8AN fittings. Comes with the like if you're running 2 lines by each other, it comes with the organizers, everything, bro. Very nice kit. So yeah, right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift the car up and we're gonna figure out where we're gonna put the fuel pump. That we have a good idea of where we're gonna run the lines and the through wall bulk fittings. So let's go ahead and put that in there. All right, you guys. So finally, you guys can see the fuel pump. So we're going with a Magna Fuel. It's a 750. This bad boy is rated for 2,000 horsepower. So it's gonna be a loud ass fucking pump, bro. Yeah, but we're trying to figure out where we're gonna put it right now. So we're probably gonna go somewhere here or somewhere to tuck it really nicely. We do have to make a custom bracket for it because it didn't come with it. So we're gonna go ahead and get that done. But for right now, we're just gonna figure out where it goes so that we can run our lines.
The sun is dark. The sun is
All right, you guys, bracket is all welded in. That fucking fuel pump is solid. So now we didn't put any rubber grommets or anything. We don't know what this fuel pump, how loud it's gonna be, or is it gonna cause any vibration. If it does, all we're gonna do is just put a spacer rubber grommet inside, or a nylon grommet, and then that'll eliminate some of the vibration. You'll still have the noise because, you know, it's such a big pump and it is external. It's not submerged inside a fuel tank. But that's the fittings that we're going with. We have dual 45s, so the goal is for this line to come down here and run down the factory way. And then for the fuel pump feed, we're thinking about drilling 2 holes here, and we're gonna put through wall fittings. We don't have the through wall fittings right now, the bolt fittings. So what we're gonna do is just drill the hole and then run the hose through temporarily until those come in. And then what we'll do is we'll come and we'll snip the hose right there, and we'll put the AWD fittings there as well. But yeah, so that's how she's looking. So now what we're gonna do is, like I said, mark that, drill them. Let's get the hoses made. You guys, so we're gonna be starting on the back of the fuel pump now. We're gonna put a hold on to this. I need a 45 so we can put our fuel filter inside of the car, and you'll see why. So I removed this line and actually moved it in the back. So what we're gonna do is just start working from the back for now until that piece comes in. So we're using these 1/2-inch hose clamps for our 8AN hose. They're perfect on there and they're nice and tight, has no play. So what we're gonna do is just gonna run it all across where the factory lines used to run. We're just not going to use it on the factory clips because we also have to bring a return. We're also going to bring the return line on the side of this real nicely. So we're going to hand clamp all those bad boys in, and we'll continue on. Alright you guys, so we have the fuel line and everything running real nicely. It's all supported down. And then what I did was I ran it up on top, then I ran it down here through the side, just because I didn't feel comfortable running it through there. And then when I bring the car down to show you guys, you'll see why. It's a much cleaner look. So it goes through here, and then it goes up. And then if you guys can see, it's kind of blurry, but the fuel regulator is there. So let me bring the car down and I'll show you guys. All right, you guys, so we're in the engine bay now. So as you guys can see, the fuel line and everything is down there. Because if not, the way that he had his fuel line ran before, that one, if you guys can see that, that's his old fuel line. That's a 6AN. We're deleting that, we're going with 8AN. So instead of tucking it up there and having to wrap it around so it connects here, away from the manifold and down pipe and everything, I decided to tuck it all the way down there real nicely around the frame. Then it's gonna come up through here underneath all the intercooler pipes. So it's gonna be real nice and clean and tucked up. So now it comes up through here behind the throttle body, and then it's connect here to the fuel regulator. Now the only thing is we do not have the new fittings in yet. So I won't be able to finish connecting these fuel lines and everything in this video, unfortunately. I apologize, but you guys have a good idea of how it's gonna run. So we're gonna put a 45 8AN here, so that way it clears the throttle cable and everything. But that's where the fuel line is going to end, and that's how she's ran real nicely. We are going to be doing the same thing with the fuel return. The fuel return is going to get tucked up underneath here, and it's going to run back the same exact route. So hopefully you guys have a good idea. Now, since we're done with that, and we're basically on a standstill, what I'm gonna start continuing doing is we're gonna do the rollover vent. So as you guys can see, I have a 90 there. And if you guys look down there, we're gonna be drilling a hole basically right there. And then we're gonna put this through fitting. Let me take this tank out. Okay, so tank is out. So what we're gonna be doing is we're going this through fitting. So all we're planning on doing is just drilling a hole right there, putting that through, going at the bottom of the car, putting some Loctite so it doesn't come loose and all, but. And then we're gonna tighten this, and then that's where our hoses connect. So that's gonna give us our vent. And it won't really go to anything at the bottom, just vent to atmosphere. Finished product, you guys. 8 fitting through wall with the nylon, and that's where she ended up at. So we put a little bit of red Loctite, that way it doesn't ever come loose with the vibration. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the tank back in, and we're gonna measure out the size of the hose that we need to cut. All right, this is our hose, and that's the mark where we're gonna have to cut it, and that should be the perfect length to reach our vents. Oh yeah, all made. Let's get her connected. All right, you guys, so that hose is connected. So now we're gonna start working on the fuel return. So the fuel return, I wanna use this nice 180, but as you guys can see, it's welded too far in, so I won't be able to get a hose in there. I'll get you guys a view this way. You won't be able to get the hose in there because it's gonna hit the fucking tank, and I can't go this way because it's the same thing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut that off. I'm gonna weld a plate here so I can block that off. I'm gonna weld a new fitting closer to the edge so I can use a nice 180 fitting and keep all my hoses and everything nice and tight. So that way the trunk is nice and clean. So let's get this bad boy off. All right, you guys. So we got that line made with the 180 fitting, if it focuses. The 180 fitting, so you can see it's tucked up real nice and clean now. Why is this shit acting up? There we go. It's tucked up nice and clean now. So I wish we could have done that here so we don't have that large angle. We had the nice tight 180, but it's all right. So this is pretty much where we're gonna end the video, just because we're missing on some parts and it's gonna take a little bit to get those. So the only thing that we're missing is so we can return or run our return line. So it's gonna be that one. But our fuel vent, that one's done. Our fuel feed, that's done. So what we have here is we have the fuel filter with a 45 8AN to 8AN coupler. And then over here we have a 180 going to 8AN. And we finally got the through wall fittings, as you guys can tell, obviously. So those are all hooked up. And then the only thing that we're missing is to install our E85 content sensor from Honda. So we 3D printed the bracket to fit perfectly in the middle, and we can clamp it down because there's no bracket for it. So the point is, so we can hook it up on the wall right there, put 2 screws, and it'll clamp down our sensors. Good thing to have a 3D printer, man. They come in handy. So the goal is we're gonna mount it somewhere there like that, and then this hose that you see there, our 8AN, is gonna connect there to the right side. And then that fitting over there is gonna connect to the left side. So the reason we're putting the content sensor on our return line is because that's a 3/8. So we don't wanna restrict our 8AN line to drop down to this and then to open back up to 8AN. So you're gonna put this on your return so it doesn't block any fuel flow going to the actual pump to the injectors. So that's the design that we're going with. You guys can see we did put the, it's hard to capture because the glare, but it's crystal clear. You can see inside that tank, no problem. But I think the acrylic or the plexiglass that we use is a little too thin. So I'm gonna order something a little bit thicker, maybe double the size of this, just, you know, for the ease of mind. But you guys can see the dark spots on there. That does mean that it's sealed. I didn't want to put any silicone on there just in case it would start to fog up and it doesn't give you the clarity anymore. But camera catches a lot more than what you see in person, which sucks, but it's crystal clear. That thing is dope. And we are going to do one more thing in the future. On the back of the tank, there is the 2 fittings. So the one is a block off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of those modified. I'm going to put an LED light in there, and I'm going to wire it to the car. That way you can actually have light inside the tank, and it's going to be, you know, basically a ricer thing, but I don't know, I think it's gonna look a lot better, and you'll be able to see like at nighttime how much fuel you actually have inside the tank, since you don't have a level. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. That's how the whole fuel setup is. That's it. So after I'm finished talking, I'll go, you know, over the whole car and give you guys a nice little video in depth. But hopefully this helped you guys out, showed you guys something. Hope you guys enjoyed the process of it. But that's the fuel cell and how we did it. Next video coming up is how we're gonna do our relay for it, for that fuel pump. But if you guys enjoyed, please hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark? It's undefined, want to know where you are. Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark? The sun is dark. Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark? It's undefined, want to know where you are. Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark?